Hi, it's Haley Morrison from Let's Talk Out Loud, the Health Kick series.
I'm getting down with a good life. Getting down with a good life.
So, in this episode, I spoke to the lovely Magri, who is a juice fast coach. Straight away, I'm going to debunk the belief that actually I had and that you may have, and that, oh, juicing's not good for you. It's not it's a fad diet. And in fact, actually, I found out today it's not a fad diet. It's in fact a protocol which helps promote your good gut health. So it's kind of a detox to help just eliminate all of those toxins from your gut, which ultimately promotes your gut brain connection, which then has a lot of more positive knock-on effects. So Magri talked about the benefits of juicing. She talked about her own journey and how she's went from being, depressed and fatigued to now having so much energy, which actually you hopefully, like I did, can see through the screen. So there was just something happening. I just felt like she was kind of just bursting with energy. I'm doing it now. That's me saying for energy. She was just oozing with so much energy. And she's trained as well in nutrition, and lots of other things. So now she's in a position where she kind of wants to help give advice and support to other people who want to kind of get onto a juice fast journey. So she has got some free groups going. So what I'll do is I'll put all of her links in the comments. And if you've got any questions, of course, just reach out. But I hope you enjoy the session. And of course, as always, any feedback, let us know. So I'm really excited to have Magri on today for this episode to talk about juicing. So Magri is a juice fast coach, and I'm going to kind of just allow her to take it away in the first question to be, what is a juice fast coach? What is it involved? And, how did you start? Or why did you start?
Well, I'll
Oh,
start with my
just a question.
journey. So I've always worked in catering and everything to do with food, from McDonald's right up to posh restaurants, front of house, back of house, chef, manager, all of that. So I've always been really heavily involved in the food industry, and I kind of fell out of love with it, which was a bit strange for me. But I came out and I did recruitment in catering, and so it's just that my work has enabled me to view catering and food from all different angles, all different training, and all different nutrition sort of standpoints. So I kind of fell out of love with that, went away and had children. And then on my juice fast, before my juice fast, before I found out what juice fasting was,
Mm.
I was really kind of depressed, really down. I just had two children, a bit of postnatal depression, couldn't really see the beauty in the day to day, and didn't really want to get out of bed in the morning. And I just thought, something's got to give. And I was learning about natural medicines and natural ways to improve your improve depression.
Mhm.
And one of the ways I came across was juice fasting and raw foods. So I just literally jumped in to a 120-day juice fast. So I didn't eat
Wow.
anything. I know it feels like worlds ago now. It was a couple of years ago, but yes, and nothing chewed. Just drinking freshly pressed juices from a protocol to clear out the gut and release your body of mucoid plaque. And yeah, and then the rest sort of rolled from there. So I went 120 days, and then I went on to coach people during through their juice fasts as well, and taking a qualification as a detox specialist and a raw food chef. I was a chef anyway,
Mhm.
but I had a little bolt-on raw food lessons and diploma and whatnot.
Mhm.
So I just really got heavily into helping other people along their diets, and it just felt like my calling, it's like what
Yeah.
I'm here to do. All the background has led up to this. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing. When you said 120 days, I'm like, what? Like I struggle to do a 3 day bloody fast. That is amazing.
yeah.
That like one achievement, and I'm assuming it obviously worked because that's why obviously you're going on now to help other people. When did you see the change? Like you start improving?
I started seeing a change around about day 20 when I had a colonic and it was a little bit of like a spiritual experience. I was I released some kind of a stone during the colonic.
Yeah.
They're not always recommended on a juice fast, but like if you have one beginning and end, it's a nice little bonus, and it
Mhm.
helps aid the liver to detox out any heavy metals and all that.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was. I just felt so light after that, and I never came down from there. And
Wow.
anytime I ate like chips or bread or something like that, it would like just bring me down again. And I thought, no, this is it now. I'm raw and juicy, and I'm staying.
I'm juicy, I love it. So do you still do like just mainly just juice fasts now, or do you how did you kind of incorporate like raw, like full foods back into your diet? What did you do with that?
Yeah, well, you have to. That's probably the most important part of a juice fast is the refeed, because you're repopulating your gut. It's like a little garden, and it's all wiped clean from the juice fast, and you have to repopulate it with the lovely flowers, the nice
Mm.
microbiome. And yeah, that takes raw food. Like the bacteria gets used to processing certain foods,
Mm.
and those bacteria grow in there. So if it's used to like digesting, burger and chips and McDonald's and that, that bad bacteria will just keep growing,
Mhm.
and it just makes more toxicity in the body. So yeah, it was easy for me. I was so hyper focused on it, and it
Yeah.
felt so good that it
Mhm.
come easy. The struggles came more in sort of year 3 of being raw, when it was just like, oh, why can't I just eat like a normal person, you know?
Mm. Yeah. Do you know what's weird as well about this chat now is because it's like something that I'm dead passionate about as well. I feel like I've got a million questions in my head and I don't want to kind of go blah, 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 like straight away. I need to remember that we're doing this for people to listen and that it probably needs structure. But I don't know if it's worth maybe mentioning this earlier on about all the foods that people are eating actually. And how, like I think I sent you in a message, like when people are eating like rubbish foods all of the time, they're not recognizing actually how bad it's making them feel because they're getting used to that just that feeling constantly. But it's only when you've kind of ate clean, then you eat something bad that you go, oh my God, that's made me feel ill. Because people are
Mm.
just in that cycle of just eating bad, aren't they? And they're not seeing the negative effects
Yeah.
that it's having.
I mean, I was the worst, really. I wasn't happy unless I was passed out on the bed, couldn't move, like ready to go to sleep. And that's the feeling that most people think, oh, I'm full now. Like that's me done.
Really
I don't need to eat
satisfied.
anymore. But you're actually supposed to have energy after eating. Like it's supposed to give
Yeah.
you a little zing and zest for life. And I think that's a really hard thing to get your head around, even when you start eating after a juice fast, because it's raw foods. It's filling, but it's not filling in that way. It's not heavy, and it doesn't make you conk out and you're like, oh, do I need some more food or what? But
Mhm.
yeah, that getting used to that is a whole new ball game as well.
Yeah. And I think as well, juice fast, because the first thing that I thought when I seen it was, oh, it's another fat diet, didn't I?
Mm.
So I think a lot of people might listen and go, oh, juice fast. But it's not, is it? It's basically going back to basics and nature. And I don't know if you want to kind of like discuss that a little bit about how it actually
Yeah.
works and the benefits.
Yeah, I mean, juice fasting is just, it's not a diet, it's a protocol to clear out the gut. And in the wild, when we were in our tribes, we would have probably done, water fasting or fruit fasting and things like that. But the reality is that most of us have got jobs, kids, a lot of us are solo parents, and you need the energy. And that's why the juice fast is just superior, because on a water fast, I mean, you could get done quicker, like a 20-day water fast, but you need to be supervised. You need to, pay a lot of money to have your levels checked and things like that. And you wouldn't be able to get up and move around. Whereas on a juice fast, you can do anything and more. It frees up so much headspace and
Mhm.
mental clarity that you just, yeah, you're finding things to do. You're finding hobbies and
Mm.
able to cope with bits more.
Yeah. And obviously the importance of the raw foods that you're eating, like you were saying before about your gut. And I think not a lot of people know about the gut brain connection. I don't know if you want to kind of cover your take on that and why it's important.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my clients I've seen, like a correlation, not just with the raw foods, but with like parasites,
Yeah.
heavy metals. And when all that starts to come out, you see these people just light up. And I've not been depressed since the juice fast. I've had moments, but you're not consumed by it all. It doesn't
Mhm.
take you over. But it is a process, and doing the juice fast, and then you kind of, when you're doing the juice fast, you're learning about other foods, or you do with me in my courses and stuff, and learning about those foods that don't make you feel as good, and it's a little bit more easier to process. It's a bit like when you think, oh, I'm going to go vegan. Oh my God, I've got to chuck out every piece of leather I've got in my house and everything like that. But the first step is just to clean out or go vegan, and then you can start to adapt things as you go. So yeah, it can be quite overwhelming, but yeah, juice fast just really, it's just a nice starting point, and it's gentle and cleansing.
Yeah. And you just mentioned the word like depression. You've never had depression since then. And one of the things that I've like shared is that people don't realize that depression can be caused by the diet, and that it
Mm,
can be blocking so much like your nutrition. Like you could be malnutritioned by obviously eating bad stuff, and parasites as well as a massive one. Like people don't realize that what you're eating is affecting the chemical messengers in your
mm,
brain. So to me, I'm really intrigued, and I've never done a juice fast before. And I do think I would like to start one, but I think I'd need to mentally prepare myself.
mm.
So maybe it's the start of next month, I might come and join and do it, do it properly.
Yeah.
But at the minute, I'm just trying to like cut out, gluten, dairy, that's me guilty pleasures, and it's what makes us feel ugh as well.
Mm,
So I know we spoke briefly about the gluten thing, didn't we? And not many
mm.
people realize that actually, like, it's a problem for a lot of people. Same with dairy.
Yeah, I mean, all the gluten in the breads that we get now is not very, it's not easy to break down by the gut, and it kind of sticks in the small intestine, and that causes, like, that's part of the mucoid plaque. I know people might be like, what on earth is that? Like, is it a rock band or whatnot? But it's just,
Band in your stomach.
yeah, it's just like hardened proteins and old fecal matter and mucus, and it all kind of clumps up together in like the GI tract. It's got little bits going off of it that it can get into, and then you find that the mucus kind of seals over those. So when you're drinking the juices, that takes that layer off, and then it all starts to come out, all these little pieces of fecal matter, which you
Mhm.
can see on my poo files video on YouTube.
Oh, I'll have to watch it. I haven't seen that one yet.
Have you
I'll have
not
to
seen
watch
that?
it. No,
I
I'll put it in the link on this
documented
video as well. Because people are like, where's that poo video? Just if you
uh,
want to say me. So, oh,
I
that's
documented all the waste
yeah.
that was coming up me
Oh,
in
wow.
that video. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. But when you clear that out, the little suckers on the sides of the GI tracts, they're what absorb all the nutrients and minerals. So when they're covered with mucus and this plaque stuff, you can't absorb any nutrients. So you might eat too much, or you might not eat much, and you might find yourself putting on weight or not putting on weight. It's really, it just imbalances it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's mainly from like things like gluten and bad sugars,
Mm-hmm.
sweeteners, things like that, medication, and feelings and emotions. I know some people wouldn't go for that, and it might be a little bit woo-woo, but a lot of my clients, a good proportion of them anyway, when they have these releases of this old waste, they have a really emotional time, and that's why I love supporting people through the juice fast, is
Mm-hmm.
because you can get a real, you really
Yeah.
get into the crux of people's, traumas and where they're, stuck, and just helping them into their
Mm-hmm.
higher self and their light.
Yeah. Do you think that's because as things are kind of coming and that body's like naturally detoxing, it's releasing all of these like probably trapped
Mm,
emotions?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the liver always has like anger in it, and the
Who's that,
tummy,
sorry?
the liver has
Oh, the
like,
liver.
is
Sorry.
supposed to store anger, and the stomach is like anxiety. I
Mm.
mean, if you believe in all that,
I do.
Louise Hay's like amazing.
Oh,
I
lovely.
love her work. So yeah, there is a correlation, and you can definitely see it when you've
Mhm.
coached over like 2,000 people. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing that. And do people get like, you know how you get like die off symptoms, detox symptoms? Do you know how we go like they say like if you do keto, you get like keto flu. Do you get that with going and doing the juice fast?
Yeah, because you're clearing out the lymphatic system, and the first thing to go there is the in the glands in the throat, and it makes it bring. That's why there's no cure for the common cold, because it's your body working as it should.
Hmm.
And we put our bodies through so much that it has to like work its way out of. But
Yeah,
detox symptoms are, I mean, they're manageable. As quick as they come, they go.
yeah.
Unless you're on something like unless you're drinking coffee, that's quite they always have day three headaches. I would always say like 80% of people that drink coffee do,
Mhm.
but it goes. I don't recommend coffee on a juice fast, but there are some like die-hard people that like won't give up their coffee. But
Yeah.
after a while on the juice fast, your taste buds change and you can't even bear the smell or taste of anything that's bad for you. So
Mhm.
yeah, it can be dealt with on the juice fast, but it's always a little bit easier for you if you've given it up beforehand.
Yeah. So how did you do it though? Like I'm still thinking that's an amazing achievement to do that. Like was there moments where you nearly caved or like did you have any tricks up your sleeve to like stop you from caving?
Yeah, I mean, I held myself accountable in a group full of juice fasters at that time, and I had a lot of people around me saying, "Oh, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that." Or, "Oh, this is another fad thing you do." Because I'd always done like, Avon or Juice Plus or Slim Fast and all those things, and nothing had ever stuck. So everyone just kind of thought it was one of these fads.
Hmm.
So I was determined to prove them wrong for one, and my why, my vision. And I think you're big on that as well. Was really what pulled me through, and it was my children. It was wanting to not be tired and not wanting to not have children. Wanting to
Yeah.
be on your own all the time. I wanted to enjoy life, and I thought there's
Yeah.
got to be more to life than this. Get up for work, do this, make the dinners, and like being on the juice fast and listening to all the insightful like podcasts and spiritual learnings and teachings and everything, you really do just come back to center yourself. You can't not on a long juice fast. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I love it. I love the sound of it. And the more I'm talking, I feel excited inside. I'm like, right, I'm going to do this. This is my next little like goal that I'm going to set for myself. So obviously going back to like the food, because I just think a lot of people that like in this day and age, they don't really put focus on themselves and their health, do they? They go to the supermarket and think that everything on the shelves is kind of safe and it's okay for them to eat. And obviously, we've got to be careful what we say in regards to our beliefs on certain things. Um, but I don't know if you've heard of like an app called Yuka, where people can scan like the foods and the products and stuff, and it's unbelievable all of the chemicals that's like kind of in there. And what you've
Yeah.
just said about the bread and stuff, like the stuff that's in it that doesn't need to be in it, it's like really playing havoc, isn't it, with people's like body?
Yeah, I mean, that's where I was just, it was driving me mad because I obviously was really into food. So I would check the labels and I'd just be like, oh, for God's sake, I'm summoning the devil here. Okay. And that's why raw just really fit with me. I was like, okay, I've got an apple, it's an apple. And then I know you kind of worry about what pesticides are on it, is it organic and that, but it really kind of just brought it back to me to not have to worry about that side of things because those apps are just scary and I haven't got
Yeah.
the brain capacity to
Mhm.
work it all out and worry about it. So I like to
Yeah.
take that bit out of it.
Yeah. I suppose that is a good point. Obviously, if you're just eating organic food, you know that it's like from the earth and it's nutritious. And even the pesticides that's on them, it's still probably going to outweigh the chemicals that's in the crap that you're eating already.
Mm,
I suppose I never thought of it like that. Because that was one of my worries was, well, like, how do I know it's like really organic? And I checked to see if it's soil like soil certified and where do I get my organic stuff from? And but then if I'm going to say eat that and stop eating bread and pasta, which I know has got like crap in it, then
mm.
it's like the better of the two.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even worry about organic. I know people are going to shoot me down for that, but I've spoken to at least 3 farmers about their organic produce, and there's a few chemicals they couldn't even tell me that they use on that, even it being organic. So you just
Mm.
don't know unless
Mm.
you're growing it yourself, which is absolutely best practice. I
Yeah.
wouldn't worry about it. Yeah.
When you're going to start your garden. That
Yeah,
could be
I've
your
I've got
next
the
one.
polytunnel up. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, it's amazing. So if somebody wanted to obviously like join the juice fast, like what is it that you've got going? Have you got the community going? Have you got a website? Have you got like how would it work if somebody wanted to join and get the support?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a free get started guide, which you can link for anyone that just wants to, lone wolf it and have everything they need to do there for
Mm.
them. And then I've got my free community on Facebook, which I monitor. And then I've got the private coaching, which I do in groups, and I do that bi-monthly. So the next
Mhm.
one is July, and the one after that, September.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we go for like 5 days or 30 days, really. And
Right.
the price for 30 days is extremely low. So I want to get people in for that. I'd love to
Yeah.
do 100-day ones with people, but it's
100
just
days.
that is daunting, too daunting
Yeah.
for some people.
I
But
suppose yeah, people that you've got in the community now, when they get used to doing the 5 days and the 30 days, then that would probably come anyway, won't it? They'll go, right, I've done this, I've nailed this now. 5 days,
yeah,
I like the sound of that though. I definitely think I could give that a good bash. And then I suppose once you've done the 5 days and you've got some momentum, then you're probably more than likely going to continue, aren't you?
yeah. Then I've been like an earworm and like, no, you're not giving up now.
That's what I need. I need an earworm to be like, come on, get out of bed, get your juice. So, oh, that's amazing. Well, I will be putting obviously all of your links like in anyway. And I'm not just saying this because I'm chatting to you, but I definitely want to do at least the 5 days. So, so I'll have to kind of message you separately and come and join and sort that out. So, is there anything else that you would like to share or cover that you think maybe is important for people to know? Obviously we've covered that. It's not a diet, it's a process. And how did you put it? A detox to set the slate clean, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even just if you're on the fence, just dip in for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, just see how it feels in your body.
Mm.
And I believe, I mean, I try to detox every year. I sometimes do it several times a year just because I love the feeling of it. Like, and
Yeah,
don't be scared of it. It's a brilliant, amazing feeling.
yeah,
And you don't, I mean, I was a bit of a party girl back in the day. And that high that I searched for with drugs was the high that I got off of juicing and raw foods.
yeah.
And that for me was enough to keep going with it. So yeah, if you've got like a few days work and you need some headspace, jump on a 3-day juice fast, you will smash out that work.
Mm. Oh, that's amazing. And you just said there, like obviously you searching for them highs in the past. It's a prime example of not trying to like stop a habit, but just change it with a good one, isn't it? So
Good,
people got
yeah.
that because I'm terrible. My triggers is my child, I think, mostly. So in the
Mm.
morning, if we've had a bad morning, I'm going in that cupboard and I'm getting bread and I'm getting a jive and I'm getting crisps. Um, but I
That's the first stage. You're the watcher now. You've watched yourself. You know that you do
yeah.
that. And
Mhm.
I mean, it drives you nuts for a little bit, but once you get over that and you're like, oh no, you're not going to reach for that. No, reach for something else. And that whole process
Yeah.
and your brain's like retrained and you're a
Mhm.
bit better. Yeah.
But I think I haven't been setting myself alternatives. I think that's been the problem is I haven't had the discipline because I've felt so I've needed that emotional regulation that I'm used to getting from food. But I haven't
Mm,
had like an alternative to go, I'm not going to have this, I'm going to have this. And to just say I'm not going to have it, then it
yeah.
makes you worse. And then you just get it. And then afterwards you deal with it, don't you? Deal with the guilt and stuff.
Yeah, you
But
just get in such a lack mindset and like we
yeah.
release all this stuff, release, and then we don't embrace anything else.
Mhm.
But a lot of people think the raw diet's quite, oh, it's really restrictive. But I think it's really abundant because I don't have to look at labels. I don't have to say, oh
Yeah.
no, I can't have that, or what's that? What's that? I
Mhm.
just think I think it's true abundance, really.
Yeah. And so what would you do, say, after someone's done the juice fast and they wanted to kind of start incorporating things? Um, is there certain things that you'd say, bring back in first, or is there a method of like try something, see how your body reacts, and then you can eliminate that? And like, what would you suggest?
Yeah, I
Give us
mean,
something different.
I have got a free refeed guide on the website as well, specifically for after a juice fast, but it's a good way to introduce raw foods as well. But you would start with juicy fruits, still keep on your juices, and then you would incorporate the fats. And then you would look for best practice, it would be good to be raw for a year. But
Hmm.
I know some people want to go back to meat and all their bits and pieces. And if anyone does want to go back to those, they will. But I would just say, just notice how things feel in your body. And after you've cleaned out, you will notice how certain things sit in your body like you never have before. It will be annoying at first, but
Mm.
you'll get used to it and you'll make better decisions from it. So
Yeah.
yeah, slow,
It,
steady, juicy fruits and
I know. Do
vibrant
you
fruit.
know what? I'm loving even your energy. It's like we're supporting this juice fast. It's
You're
great.
rolling.
So what would you say to people who obviously you've got this juice fast and people might be worried that, oh, well, I'm not getting this vitamin or this minerals from, meats or other foods. What would you kind of say in regards to that? Have you got thoughts on that? Like, has
I
anybody
mean,
approached you and said, how am I going to get meat? How am I going to get this? Or,
yeah, I mean, I always kind of say to that, like, were you worrying about that before when you were eating, McDonald's or whatnot?
right.
Like, no one really worries about that, do they, when they
Yeah.
when they eat that? Um, it's like when you go to the dentist and you have a deep clean. It's that, but for your gut. And
Hmm.
I would, yeah, just keep it like that in your mind.
Yeah.
And
No, that's another good point as well, because yeah, people probably don't like now, they're probably not complaining about sticking the chicken nuggets and the chips in and then
Mm.
having like a takeaway on a night time to say, well, where am
It's
I
such
getting from? Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to go over
All
you then.
right, it's okay.
It, it's such a short time to become deficient in anything. Even me doing
Yeah.
120 days, if I become deficient in something, then I was deficient in it before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm raw, but I don't take any supplements, no B12, no nothing. I just
Mhm.
focus on eating the rainbow, really. And
Yeah.
proof is in the pudding. Go and look at some raw vegans on YouTube, and they
Mhm.
are just like beaming. It's bizarre. It's
Yeah.
like a fountain of youth for some of them.
Hmm.
Mm,
But you're right, the proof is in the pudding, and I suppose you're not going to know until you experience it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I
I
love
don't know anyone that's done a juice fast and says don't do a juice fast.
that.
Only people that have never done one that will say don't do
Or they haven't
it.
been able to stick to it and they've said it didn't work.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that. So thank you very much. Like I'm absolutely buzzing. I feel like I've got so much like energy off you even just watching you on the screen.
Oh, thank you. I am
So
like this on the chair.
gonna go and have an orange. Oh, but honestly, thank you so much. We'll say proper goodbye anyway, but what I'll do for people who are obviously watching is I'll put all of your stuff in there so they can kind of reach out to you if they've got any more questions or if
Yeah,
they want to obviously join your communities and stuff like that. So thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone.